Okay, let's go ahead and call to order. The first thing that we have before we pray and pledge is the public hearing. We have Deborah from Squatter here to talk to us about the public hearing. I think that's correct.
Correct.
We're gonna let you do the public hearing first before we do the prayer and pledge.
Oh.
For no other reason that I'm in charge and I made that decision.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council, Mark. We are here tonight from SWOTA. I'm Deborah Glasgow, Executive Director. I have Janet Harris here. She's Director of Community and Economic Development and 911, and Anne Marie Watt. She is our GIS Specialist. So the reason that we're here first to do a public hearing is in regards to the capital, the 5-year capital improvement plan that SWOTA has put together for the city of Clinton. The capital improvement plan has been a process through months, Anne-Marie, what would you say? Working, putting together inventory for your city's assets, mapping the assets, and also working with your planning committee, which is an LPAC committee. The committee's input is very important in finalizing the capital improvement plan. It gives you a chance to basically make a need list for your community. Not only just a need list, but maybe some things that you would like to do in the future. Gives you a chance to do some financial planning as far as approximately how much something might cost to replace or purchase in the future, and what kind of funding you might look towards for that particular funding. I think Anne Marie has already provided you with the 5-year capital improvement plan. You have it on display or for public review for 30 days or so. So basically what the public hearing is about is if there's any other public input, comments, anything to add to the capital improvement plan. It's basically a time to say your piece, forever hold your peace. No.
Yeah.
But just gather public input if there's any from the group. Do you have anything to add to that?
These are the priorities that we had in that one meeting.
Yes, sir.
Anybody in the audience have any comments in regards to the capital improvement plan? As long as it's not supported. All right. Moving along.
Thank you.
Thanks, Deborah. Okay, everybody stand up, please. We'll pray. We have Roland Youngberg from UNC.
Let's pray together. Oh, gracious and loving Lord, we thank you for this day that you've given us. We thank you for the city council. We just pray that you would be with each of its members and with our mayor and with our city manager. Lord, just give them clear minds and loving hearts as they carry out the work of the city for all of us. And we're so grateful for the great work that they do. And we pray that you'd be with all those that serve us through city government. We just thank you for that. We ask that your blessing would be upon this time. In Jesus' name, amen.
Lucas, Louise.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Roland. Now call to order the regular meeting of the Recreational Authority and consider a motion for approval of the consent agenda.
I like that motion to approve the consent agenda. I'll second.
Trustee Huber?
Yes.
Trustee Martinez?
Yes.
Trustee Rudolph?
Yes.
And Chairman?
Yes. Action item A, appointment to the Golf Advisory Board.
At a previous meeting, it was recommended by members of council that we accept applications for the Golf Course Authority. We have had 2 such applications. One is Mustafa sent me, and the other one is Mr. Gesswinder. Is that correct? Kirk Gesswinder. So those are the 2 names that are in front of the council at this time. That does not mean that you can't appoint someone else. That's just the 2 applications that we have at this time.
Comments up here?
I'm Kirk. He'd like to go. And I'd make a motion to appoint Kirk Gesswinder to the Golf Advisory.
Second, anybody?
I'll second that motion.
Trustee Rudolph?
Yes.
Trustee Huber?
Yes.
Trustee Martinez?
Yes.
and Chairman.
Yes. Moving right along. Trustee reports. City manager's report.
No, sir.
Audience participation regarding the recreational authority. Consider a motion to adjourn this portion of the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Huber,
Yes.
trustee Martinez,
Yes.
trustee Rudolph,
Yes.
and Chairman.
Yes, under the airport authority agenda, consider a motion for approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Huber,
Yes.
trustee Martinez,
Yes.
trustee Rudolph,
Yes.
and Chairman.
Yes, we have an action item, it's complicated to say, Navy facilities at the airport.
Navigation aid, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
about that stands for. I assume the federal government or FAA owns a piece of equipment that is on your airport, is Tracy. Tracy, good.
Yes, Tracy Yoder's our fixed base operator.
Yeah, if you'll come up here and speak from a point of knowing what you're really talking about, I appreciate it.
That's what I tried to say.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Is navigational aid correct?
Navig, yes.
See? Now you go a lot further if you do. Thank you.
This is just an agreement that we already had. Lisa was gonna look that up for me to see how,
2000,
okay,
so it's a 15-year contract.
yeah. And basically what this is the FAA, they maintain, certain navigational aids at the airport, for our instrument approach system. They don't do that for all municipal airports. I think that we're kind of grandfathered into this because of Clinton Sherman. Basically, all they do is they maintain our VASIs, or visual approach slope indicators. They're just saying, hey, let's renew the contract. It doesn't cost us anything. They pay for the bulbs, they pay for the maintenance, and they say, we want to continue to do this. So that's, in short, what all of that jargon was about.
Is it the lights on the runway?
No, there are two boxes on the side of the runway that basically tell pilots if they're high or if they're low when they're on the instrument approach.
Red and white,
Red and white.
Yeah.
you see red and red, you're probably not good.
Red and red, you're dead.
Yeah.
So learn something today.
But anyway, that's what this agreement is for, is just an extension of the agreement that we have.
Nothing? All right. Second, anybody?
Second.
Trustee Rudolph,
Yes.
trustee Huber,
Yes.
trustee Martinez,
Yes.
and Chairman.
Yes, trustee reports, regarding the airport, city manager's report.
No, sir, thank you, Tracy.
Audience participation, consider motion to adjourn this portion of the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Huber,
Yes.
trustee Martinez,
Yes.
trustee Rudolph,
Yes.
and Chairman.
Yes, Public Works Authority agenda, motion for approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Huber,
Yes.
trustee Martinez,
Yes.
trustee Rudolph,
Yes.
and Chairman.
Yes, first action item is significant payment to Citizen Training.
Phase one of the Oklahoma water proposal is what this refers to. You remember this being an item that was thoroughly discussed during the Oklahoma water proposal, that we were indebted to them for that. I think it's $803,000?
$830,000.
$830,000, okay. And we brought this to the council's consideration today. Would this be, could we use bond funds to pay for this?
This was, it is in the bond
Okay, good. That's what we
financing.
included.
It's in.
It was included.
Okay.
Okay, so they submitted us an invoice, I guess.
Why don't we wait when we put it on the agenda to bill paying it March when we want to rush it?
They have submitted the bill to us, and we're obligated, and we felt that was the correct thing to do.
That's the answer.
It's only answer I got.
Do you have a motion to pay?
I'll make a motion that we pay the invoice for the Seven Trent Phase 1 of these services.
Jason's going to go. Second.
I'll second.
Trustee Huber,
Yes.
trustee Martinez,
Yes.
trustee Rudolph,
Yes.
and Chairman.
Yes.
Does this come off of Burns McDonald bill?
No, sir. This is independent of anything that they're doing for us at this time.
Action item A, payment to Squatters Drilling for the Dixon well.
Lisa, do you have the Squire Drilling bid
Yes.
on there? I want to tell you how much this was. $73,485. This was for the drilling completion and flow test of the Dixon well. The only item remaining is the flow test. The well itself has been completed. The flow test is scheduled to take place on Thursday. We'll flow the well, find out what its static capabilities are, and we'll collect water samples at the same time. What I'm asking the council to do is to approve this payment prior to completion of the project. We don't have another meeting for 3 weeks until the 1st of March, but we'll hold the check until such time as the project has been completed.
Makes sense. Motion, anybody?
I'll make a motion that we approve payment to Squires Drilling for $73,485. Second.
Trustee Human,
Yes.
trustee Rudolph,
Yes.
trustee Martinez,
Yes.
and Chairman.
Yes. Action item C, permit, yeah.
This is the much-discussed construction permit from DEQ. One of the requirements is, and I think you've already most likely seen this permit, but one of the requirements is that we acknowledge receipt of it in a public meeting. That's what this agenda item is. I don't know that there's any action to be taken here, other than it is an agenda item. Do you think that will suffice, Lisa? Okay. And it has been reported to the council, and it'll be in the minutes. Okay, thank you.
I make the motion we acknowledge receipt of this permit.
Second, anybody?
Trustee Rudolph,
Yes.
trustee Martinez,
Yes.
trustee Human,
Yes.
and Chairman.
Yes. Okay, so this was, that was everything in regards to the Dixon well, right?
The
Well,
construction permit, yes, it was all included in there.
Action item D, Dixon well pipe permit.
What, Donald, would you come up and discuss this, please, on the bids from Pioneer and Ferguson? This is for the supplies that we use to build the Dixon pipeline from the well to the 24, including the bore underneath the railroad tracks.
The county road. We sent out 3 requests for quotes and only got 2 back. HD Supply didn't send us 1 back. As you can tell from your packets, Ferguson, we sent them the specs on the pipeline and everything, and they sent 6 pages of, I mean, they bid everything, even down to the 10 horn that goes for the driveway. Pioneer just bid the pipeline, and so I broke out the stuff that pertained to the pipeline. I've got a couple adjustments that we need to make. Ferguson, on their quote, bid a 24-inch cast iron pipe, 20 feet of it. That was $2,100, and that won't be included in the project now.
That's the first item on the summary sheet
Yeah,
that Donald
summary
put
sheet.
together, which is $2,100. That will come off.
And then Pioneer did not bid on the steel casing pipe that goes underneath the railroad, so we can take that off. If we're gonna compare apples to apples on all of it. That knocks the Ferguson bid down to $13,489.03, and the Pioneer bid's at $14,7846. Just from dealing with Ferguson, and they're used to dealing with the contractor that we've got for the water line and stuff, I wanna recommend that we go with Ferguson on this.
But if we leave the casing material in the Ferguson bid and just subtract the $2,100, then we come down to a Ferguson bid of $13,716.53, because we do need the casing
Yeah,
material.
we are gonna need the casing.
The only reason that he subtracted that was to make apples to apples from Ferguson Pioneer.
Pioneer didn't have it on their bids. So.
In fact, with the casing materials still on their bid, they are less than the Pioneer bid without the casing materials.
Huh.
So that's 13, how much?
$716.53. And I just took the $2,100 off the $15,800 at the bottom.
But when we approve this, we're going to be approving for the casing itself for the crossing.
Yeah, it's included in
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sounds like an easy answer. Motion, anybody to approve the first bid? Second.
I'll make a motion that we approve the Ferguson Enterprises Incorporated bid for materials for the Dixon water line.
Second, anybody?
I'll second.
Trustee Human,
Yes.
trustee Martinez,
Yes.
trustee Randolph,
Yes.
and Chairman.
Yes. Thanks, Tom. Trustee reports. City manager's report.
Well, all I would mention is that the Dixon well has been completed. Your construction permit is in hand. IGO is going to be the contractor that lays the water line. This is the final step. We are in, negotiations. We're perfecting the agreement between the city and Farm Rail for the crossing. We're in communication with Mr. Dixon as to, our obligations to him for damages during the well on the pipeline. Helping him relocate an alternative water source. Those things all take place. The engineering report for the golf course wells has been submitted to DEQ. There'll be an engineering report for the RO plan to be submitted shortly. I forwarded an email to all the councilmen that I had gotten from Brian Meyer that kind of had a breakdown of what we've achieved, where we're at, the next steps to take place. If you'll notice, there are multiple steps or multiple projects that are taking place at the same time. A lot of outside interaction with either engineers or canoe officials or whatever. But there are a lot of things taking place, and it's kind of a juggling act. We're trying to make sure that nothing slows down with the status of the level of the water in Falls Lake. The Dixon well is now more important than it was. Now, Brian Meyer is still projecting that it will come online sometime in early March.
Early March.
If we flow test this well this week, at some point, and we're obligated to a minimum of 500,000 gallons, what is our minimum take from Mr. Dixon? Do we have a minimum take? I can't remember.
annual lease payment.
Yeah, so we could draw, depending on what that well flows, we could potentially get more than 500,000 gallons a
We
day,
can.
whatever.
But the way it reads, correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan, the first, was it 120,000 gallons or 120 million gallons is 42 cents a gallon, or 42 cents a thousand, which equals that $50,000 annual payment you make. After that, it's 50 cents a thousand,
I believe that's correct.
if the well will sustain. Yes.
Basically, we had 50 cents well.
Yeah.
Over $500,000 a day.
Right, 350 gallons a minute is 500,000 gallons a day. Now, as things currently stand, the golf course wells they produce extremely hard water. There's another source of water out west of town that we're looking at, that's extremely hard. So until we get the RO plant online, we really can't utilize those two. Canoe, if I understand correctly, is soft enough that we may be able to use it and bypass the RO plant, or not utilize it like we're doing in Dixon. Jeremy, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe there's about 5 or 6 months supply of water in Clinton Lake.
Yes.
Really?
It's nice to have, folks, it's not much. 5 or 6 months is going by pretty fast, so we're really on the hustle to get some of these sources where we can utilize.
Well, the thing that I'm impressed with is we're right on target with what we told the public.
You mean as far as the cost of the Dixon well?
No, as far as the time.
Oh, time.
Yes. I think we said the 1st of March, we're gonna get pretty darn close. And, what's kind of amazing to me, look how much cheaper the cost is than that guy in California said.
We're probably gonna beat his cost estimate, guys, I believe
What
that.
did $1 million for?
I believe so. And we're probably gonna come in accordingly or less.
Probably 200,000 or less.
I'll wait till I'm through before we say that, yeah, it looks like
I
that.
just want to point out, the guy in California.
Yeah, no, there's five of us sit here. Item participation. Consider motion to adjourn this portion of the meeting.
I'll make that motion, we adjourn. Public Works Authority.
I'll second.
Trustee Hueblen?
Yes.
Trustee Martinez?
Yes.
Trustee Randolph?
Yes.
And Chairman?
Yes, city council agenda, motion for approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Hueblen?
Yes.
Councilman Martinez?
Yes.
Councilman Randolph?
Yes.
And Mayor?
Yes, action item A, it's like death us back there. Nope, no, how are you gonna do this?
Well, it is a presentation of five-year capital improvement plan. Deborah, if you would, there's about 6 items here that have to do with SWOTA or the capital improvement plan or the CDBG grant. Would you walk us through those, please?
Okay. If it's all right with you, Mayor and Council and Mark, I would like to defer to Jana and Anne Marie to do the presentation of your capital improvement plan. And I will, if you want to move to that, I will go ahead and go through your CDBG application orders. Is that what you want me to do now? Which is moving on down. Or if you want to
Do you
take.
want to do DEF and then come back to ABC?
Yeah, that's fine.
Right.
Do we wanna do that with DEF and back to
Whatever
ABC?
suits you. It looks like it's kind of the SWOTA show this evening anyway.
It is.
We'll just,
Where do you
we'll
wanna
just
start at?
take control. All right, since I'm already up here, I'll go ahead and we're moving on down to your matching funds for your CDBG grant, which begins at D.
Okay, tell us what that is.
All right. First, I want to say, a while back, you had a monitoring, which is through our partner at Oklahoma Department of Commerce, and that's where the HUD money flows through. At the end of those projects, which even after closeout, sometimes the monitoring process comes a little bit slow. But I want to thank Lisa and Deborah for working very closely with Clyde Morgan, our community development specialist. I'm sure he's very nervous right now knowing that I'm here taking care of his business that he holds near and dear to his heart, but he's in office this evening, so I told him I would come. I wanted to come in support of the girls' work as well. So anyway, I wanted to thank you both for working very closely with him, and I got a good complimentary letter from Department of Commerce as well, so thank you. And as I said, Clyde Morgan, our community development specialist, has been working with the city, putting together, finalizing an application for CDBG money. Once again, this is actually HUD money that flows down through Department of Commerce, and we apply on your behalf for the project money. The city is applying for purchase of 3 police cars. So this evening, you have several pieces of business that you need to review and process in order for us to meet all the check boxes that are required for getting federal funds. The first that we have up is your resolution, and Lisa, I think Clyde has he provided these all to you, I would assume. You have a resolution. This resolution is stating that you will provide X amount of dollars. I don't have that. Yes, I do. $37,500 in matching funds. And it also says that these funds are made available through your capital improvement plan. Through your capital improvement fund. It looks like the Clinton portion, the city's portion of the grant process would be 33%. If I computed that correctly. So that's number 1 on your list. Any questions about the resolution?
37.5, which is 33% of the total spent.
Yes.
The rest of it comes 66 comes from somewhere else.
Yes, 67%. It looks like total purchase of the price of the cars on the information that has been collected. Total application would be $107,865.
The 107,865, I believe, is 3 police cars, but the city hasn't budgeted for 1, and applying for 2 with CDBG money. So what we already have budgeted would be our match.
Okay.
And Mr. Crabtree will respond for the gathering of the information. I believe
Thank you very much for
that's all.
helping us out.
We have a motion from anybody? Comment, Mr. Crabtree? Motion. Yeah.
I would make the motion to adopt resolution 844.
Second, anybody?
I'll second.
Councilman Rodoff,
Yes.
Councilman Martinez,
Yes.
Councilman Huglen,
Yes.
and Mayor.
Yes. Okay, Deborah.
Thank you very much. Next on the list, you have it's called a Community Development Block Grant Community Revitalization Resolution. This is a document that is required once again for HUD dollars being applied for. Basically, this says, obviously, you're a local unit of government, you're looking for federal funds to complete this project. I'm sure you got one, well, okay, I'm not used to this, so that's nice.
Yes,
You got it up there, I'm sure everybody's read it. You have any questions about it, council? It's pretty self-explanatory. They want us to make sure that the city is open and transparent on what you're looking for as far as the federal dollars go.
So we need a motion to approve resolution 845. I'll make that
Yeah.
motion.
Second, anybody?
I'll second.
Councilman Huglen,
Yes.
Councilman Martinez,
Yes.
Councilman Rodoff,
Yes.
and Mayor.
Yes. F?
Okay, this, once again, but yet another requirement, imagine that, from the federal government. But this says that this has been an open and transparent process and looking for these federal funds. You conducted a week or so, a couple weeks ago, maybe first part of the month, a public hearing discussing what this project would involve, who, what, when, and why. This states that the public hearing was conducted and no objections from the public.
Consider approval. We have a motion to approve this plan. Anybody?
So. Second.
Councilman Martinez,
Yes.
Councilman Huglen,
Yes.
Councilman Rodoff,
Yes.
and Mayor.
Yes. Okay, where we going now?
Back to A.
Back to A.
Okay, I do appreciate you considering all these documents. I know sometimes it's a bit onerous, but it's I call it at work, I say, hey, that's the hoops they put out there, we'll hop through them if we can get money for the community. So, all right, I appreciate it very much, and right now I'm going to turn it over to Anne Marie and Janet, and they're going to present the capital improvement plan that they put together as far as the city's inventory and all your mapping.
Thank you.
Do you want your computer to show up?
Yes, please.
Uh-oh.
I took a course in this right before the council. I did. It's a good.
Was it a crash or?
Yeah, well, for me.
As Deborah said earlier, the city received a grant through CDBG to map all the infrastructure and complete an inventory and for the city for a 5-year budget, or what they call a capital improvement plan. In front of you, each of you should have a book. It has everything that we inventoried. We inventoried everything the city owns. The planning committee got together, they went over the inventory, and they created a 5-year capital improvement plan. Part of that capital improvement plan is the mapping of all of your infrastructure. As what you can see in front of you is the city limits and roads and anytime anybody wants to look at something zoomed in, just stop us, we'll zoom in, we'll show you a few things. And also, we will provide this to you on a CD. You will have all the mapping, and you'll see everything we see. And we're going to pull up the water lines. What you're looking at now is the water lines. This is the water lines by size. As you can see, there's 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch. We can, show them the attribute table if you don't want to. Behind each water line, we segment out a water line by the type of water line, by the size of water line. If it changes, then it's a new segment number. Anne Marie spent a lot of time with your utilities division to come up with this map. But it has the size, the length, the size, the type, if it had meters on it. Sometimes we inventory meters, sometimes we don't. The number of valves and the number of fire hydrants and the condition of the water line. And in the comments section, we can put anything there, but you'll see it says needs replaced. And then there's a remaining useful life column, and it's 10 years. We do a cost estimate on what it would be to replace that line and the priority. We have what the utilities priority and what the planning group priority is on there.
This attribute table that you're looking at is the same thing that is contained in those books that you have.
You want to turn on the fire hydrant?
Who did all this?
She did.
I'm gonna zoom in because it's such a broad area, give you an idea of water lines with fire hydrants and gate valves.
Did someone physically go out and locate these services, or were these just GIS electronically off of a standard map?
Both. I think the fire hydrants were GPS and the water lines were taken from over, this is an update, so this mapping has been done before. And what we do is add to it over the years. So it's basically experience from your water department supervisors, maps that were available, and so on.
This Dawn's house right there. Okay.
Yes. So,
But what you see, of course, there are the fire hydrants, the gate valves, and the water lines. And we'll turn on the sewer so you can see that.
One thing I'll tell the council, that we found through the years that it's extremely important for our communities, whether one of our larger communities like this or our small ones. A lot of times your water superintendents and your utility superintendents, they have a lot of this stuff, valuable information stored in their heads and not necessarily electronically or on paper. And this is an opportunity to capture that city inventory and have it not only just in someone's head, but also you've got a good solid record of it. So we appreciate the time that utilities personnel spend helping Emory do this, because our finished product is only as good as the information that they help us collect.
Sort of thing.
And the sewer line, they have the same attribute table as the water lines. We can also populate the water lines and sewer lines by what needs to be replaced. So you can print a map and it'll show everything that needs to be replaced. So you can give it to the utility people or whatever you want to do. But same thing with sewer. It showed the segment ID, the length, if it needed to be replaced, how many manholes are on it, the size and the type of line, the condition and remaining useful life.
I assume this is in a file that is of a size that you can digitally transfer or email this to a part, or I know our engineer could use this.
Like,
Gene is gonna have all that information available to him, but so he can bring up basically anything that you need. Anything that he needs assistance with, all he has to do is call, and we'll get you whatever you need.
Well, can you send this file to Ken so that he can?
Yes, what we did with the water, file.
Burned it down,
Yeah,
yes.
I gave them that water.
So they already have that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question, and, like someone requests a file or just a layer, like say, all right, storm siren. That's small enough that you can email it,
Yes.
but not the whole thing, correct?
No.
We have to,
we can't, email on every bit of this because it's humongous. So we would have to just pick out sections.
Or
But
put it
then
on a
you-
DVD and put it in the mail.
Yes, but then they would also have to have the software to run this.
Yeah, and we don't, but they do.
Okay, okay, all right. But everything you see on the left in what I call a table of content, well, it says table of contents, is everything we mapped. And so she'll scroll up and down, everything you see here, we mapped, identified, we open the streets after the table.
Like Jana said, if there's a particular section of town that you wanted to zoom in on, or a particular layer that you wanted to open up, then your wish is our command.
Very good.
There's your water towers, your water supply, capacity, the condition, any comments. Storm sirens. We have everything on here. I don't want to take a lot of your time, but if you have any questions,
I'll tell you, this is very interesting.
thank you.
When was the last, what day did you bring this up? When was the last time?
It was over 5 years ago, wasn't it?
It was 2007, maybe, something like that. Yeah.
So just another word.
We brought paper maps for you, and then we also created a map book. And this would be useful for people in their vehicle. I'll pass this around and we can produce however many of these we need to.
If you have a printer big enough to print some of this off,
Yes, we
you
do.
may go.
Yeah, we can print up from, our largest standard is 34 by 34, but we can go bigger.
And did you say that the map book is for the water department?
It's the water system, because your system branches out the way it does, in order for it to actually be in a usable format, we thought it best to do a book instead of a paper map. If you notice on the table, this is your sewer system, we can combine that in a reasonably sized map. But with your water system and the way it extends to the water treatment plant over at Clinton Lake, we thought it would be more feasible for you to have a book that would include the entire system. And because you have so many features, like I said, if I would turn on the fire hydrants, there's a whole lot there. You know, you got fire hydrants that you don't even know are there because you're zoomed out. And with the book, you have a better idea of the area because you've got a specific section as far as an overall map. Just more feasible for you to use.
But we can make those map books on any system, water, sewer,
Right.
streets.
And you brought one of these for us?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Pretty sure I know where that is going. Yeah, no, you got dibs on that one.
And that's all part of that, was it parts?
Parts, sure.
That's very neat.
Now, you'll have more information on certain things in your book than you will on the map. That was all your parts. 18 of them.
But one thing we don't have on here that we started working on was your zoning, and we can add anything to this you want. We can overlay zoning on this. One of the other communities, we did all their city-owned property, and we researched that at the courthouse. Something else is missing. Another thing we can do, just for information purposes, is we have access to a ground surface radar, and we can locate anything underground. If you're needing location of a water line, sewer line, we do that at cemeteries a lot. So we have that available if you guys need to utilize that for anything. Are there any other layers I'm forgetting?
No, I'm bringing up, these are your water meters, they were GPS,
Yes.
oh,
That's probably
a couple
been,
years ago.
yeah, we GPS every water meter in town.
But again, if I turned on everything regarding your water system, see how it gets a little jumbled?
A little bit.
You want to zoom in?
All right,
Sure.
quite amazing.
There they are.
But we're gonna get a CD.
Yes. We'll get it
Yeah.
changed.
That is really, what do you need from us?
That's all.
That was
Yeah.
short.
Comments? Why the best? Yeah, round of applause.
This was, this, in which you'll be looking at that in just a moment, this was also a grant that we applied for on the city's behalf through Department of Commerce, which is also CCG or PADMA. So, very fortunate that we've still been able to tap into those sources. I hope they don't all dry up, but, you know, saves the city a lot of money,
Really appreciate it.
Very much.
and we appreciate the work.
It's good work, you're being commended for it.
Thank you very much.
Do you want to see anything else before I shut it off?
Now. For sure. Yeah, coming up there.
Thank you, ladies.
Thanks a lot. Oh, thanks a lot.
Very good.
Very good. Resolution 838, adopting the 5-year capital improvement plan as presented. 8.
Make a motion that we approve the resolution.
Second, anybody?
Second.
Councilman Huglen,
Yes.
Councilman Martinez,
Yes.
Councilman Rodoff,
Yes.
and Mayor.
Yes. Action item C, claim for completion of this plan, SWOT plan.
I make a motion we approve the SWOT.
Second, anybody?
Second.
Councilman Rodoff,
Yes.
Councilman Martinez,
Yes.
Councilman Huglen,
Yes.
and Mayor.
Yes. Council reports? City managers report?
Not at this time.
Audience participation? Consider motion to adjourn this meeting?